back with episode 22 of Iko Paran, Bob Conley Jr. And with me, as always, is Austin Skinner.
Hello.
You all right?
I'm feeling a little down this week.
Why are you feeling down?
Because there's a really mean guy that I know. And his name, you want to know his name, Bob?
Yes, I do.
Nuclear.
Nuclear what?
What am I going to say, Bob?
Nuclear Brad?
Nuclear Brad Clark.
I knew it.
What a jerk.
Son of a...
What a jerk.
I never liked him.
I know.
Never liked that guy.
I know.
Bastard.
Brad Clark. Not Brian Clark. Brad Clark.
Nuclear Brad Clark.
Yeah. Well, he's really got me down this week.
I don't blame you. I mean, I definitely thought... I mean, it's definitely a $1 million name.
Yeah, like...
I mean,
I would sell it to him, but then he's going to owe me a lot of money, so I'm not a mean guy, so
Right.
I'll just keep it
You're
for
a pretty
this.
nice guy.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us, last week...
Sorry.
Yeah. Whoops.
You missed a lot.
Yeah.
Where the fuck you been?
You've got, 21 episodes to go and a bonus episode?
Yeah, so just pause it here. Go back, listen
back.
to all those.
Literally download every single one.
Everyone. Save them on your computer. Don't trade them illegally. We're making thousands off of this, so support that.
Yeah, if I wanted to, I could retire right now.
Yeah, like it's,
It's insane.
before 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing this out of love.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely don't need the money.
Right.
Because you suckers,
Oh, we got you.
we got you so
We
good.
got you good.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of money, the commas that we get
Oh, yeah.
is just insane.
It's hard to count.
Yeah.
It's hard to count.
My, bank account, it cuts off. It doesn't even end because I don't know how much money it's
I know I'm in the millions. So when I look, I just take the advice of Randy Savage and I just go 1, 2, 3, just because I'm not sure which one it is. I know it's one of them. So
boy, I really...
1, 2, 3.
Well, see, the bad thing with this, though, is, if the IRS comes around,
No.
I'm going to have to give them 70,
I'm broke. I'm broke.
70%
No money.
of my income.
Yeah, no money. Sorry,
so
guys.
we'll be in trouble there,
Nope.
similar to last week's episode. So if I have, I don't want to throw it out there, but if I have, let's say $100 million, I think I could survive on 30 million.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think I could.
I think they say sustainably wise, you can survive on 3 million for your whole life. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Well, I'm well past that just because
you're
of this
good.
podcast.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm coasting.
You can live 20 lives
Yeah,
and be good.
right. I mean, right now my refrigerator is filled with pizza. It's the most expensive pizza, burgers.
It's literally pizza made out of gold.
It is.
So the crust, it's not very good,
No, it's not.
but a lot of fiber.
Yeah.
It's natural.
I'm always shining.
Yeah.
I'm literally shooting gold.
Radiant.
Yes.
So
My air conditioner's always on because I can pay the bill.
fucking be jealous, all of you.
Yeah. So come wintertime, I'm going to be real chilly.
Envy us.
Yes.
'Cause
Wish that you lived this life of watching 1993 WWF and having millions of people all over the world listening to what you have to say.
and being filthy, stinking rich, man.
Yes.
Stick, man.
Oh, I love it so much. So back to reality.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a good fantasy life.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. I just suddenly got really more depressed.
Nah, me too.
Just not.
Fuck, I got work tomorrow.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
Damn it.
great.
So yes, in case you were getting really amped up, wow, those guys are making. No, we're just doing this because it's fun.
Yeah,
For now.
I'm gonna sell out. Somebody's gonna be buying me out of this gig.
I knew it.
And I'm just gonna retire.
Just be
You
like,
go
I'm
out on
there.
top. That's
Exactly.
it. That's it.
That's the way to go.
Yep.
All right. So I guess to come out of our fantasy life, let's go back to reality of what happened in the world of wrestling instead
Okay.
of the fantasy of our lives. So just literally only a couple of observer notes this week. Hulk Hogan has been working the house shows, but they've been leading to rather disappointing numbers. And Dave Meltzer thinks that part of the blame could probably go to Money Incorporated and Brutus Beefcake.
Wait, so not Hogan?
Yeah, because right now, so we haven't seen Brutus Beefcake on television
Which is stupid.
since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But he has been working house shows with Hogan.
Okay.
So they've been doing,
Tag teams.
yes, they've been
Okay.
doing, rematches from WrestleMania.
Gotcha.
9. But I guess the attendance numbers there haven't been very strong. So he's kind of insinuating that Hogan is a draw. It's just the fact that maybe fighting Money Incorporated with Beefcake isn't the best way to go about it.
Gee, yeah, probably because this has been going on for far too long now.
Yeah. So again, I think there's a little bit of optimism that if there is Hogan Yokozuna rematches, maybe following the pay-per-view, that the numbers will go up.
Okay.
But of course, that has to happen first.
Yeah, we'll see.
The only other bit of news here I have is that I believe it was a couple weeks ago that I mentioned that the Nasty Boys had been suspended.
Yes.
Well, it turns out they are gone.
Oh.
I don't know why they're gone. I don't know why they were even suspended, but they no longer work for the company. Apparently, they had been reaching out to independent promotions, and they are no longer working for the WWF. Sure, I'm sure they'll be in WCW.
Yeah.
Very quickly. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised there. This week we do have a couple of house shows, and they took place on the same day, May 27th. One of the shows took place in Ottawa, Ontario, and it featured Owen Hart taking on Terry Taylor, which is a regular match at this point.
Yeah.
Typhoon took on Bo Beverly. Kamala and Kimchi continued their grudge feud.
Yes.
Tatanka met Razor Ramon. The Steiner brothers challenged the WWF Tag Team Champions Money Incorporated. Crush battled Doink the Clown. And in the main event, The Undertaker met Giant Gonzalez. So there's, 2 WrestleMania 9 rematches there?
Yeah. Well, and then Kimchi Kamala has been going on forever.
Yes.
I don't know. There's a lot of the same old on there, I feel like. I like the pairing, kind of like last week, of Tatanka versus Razor Ramon. That piques my interest. Other than that, I mean, you got to think that maybe the tag team match between the champions and the Steiners might have been kind of interesting, because I feel like we're way overdue for that match.
Yes.
So that's interesting. But other than that, I don't know. I probably would have not gone to this show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of good matches on there. Like you noted, the tag team title match. And then, Tatanka Razor, which we mentioned last week, is pretty intriguing. But I don't really have interest in seeing Taker Gonzalez.
Especially in the main event.
Yeah.
No.
So if that's something they would be pushing heavily on TV, I'm probably not going to be invested enough to go to that.
No.
The other show that took place on May 27th was in Niagara Falls, New York, at the Civic and Convention Center. And it's reported that around 8,500 fans attended this one. So let's see what happened here. We got Virgil taking on Damien Demento. Tito Santana met Papa Shango.
Oof.
Bob Backlund took on Blake Beverly.
Oh.
Jim Duggan and Yokozuna squared off in a singles match. The Head Shrinkers took on the Smoking Guns. The Smoking Guns were a substitute for the Nasty Boys.
Okay.
WWF Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels met Mr. Perfect. And in the main event, Lex Luger took on Bret Hart.
All right, so here's what I'm doing here. I am buying a ticket. I am not showing up until about 9:30. Just in time to see kind of the wrap-up of Jim Duggan Yokozuna. And then I'm staying for the last 3 matches and going home.
Yeah, that would be my estimation there as well.
Yeah. And by tickets buying, I mean probably
Nosebleeds.
pretty close. Yeah. Pretty close to the nosebleeds.
Yeah. I mean, I think back then, nosebleeds were like $6.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hourly rate was for people who were, if you had a job.
Yeah.
Probably like, $3 or something.
Nah, I don't even know.
But, yeah, I mean, neither one of those cards are overly impressive.
No, and I'm surprised because lately they've been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the Niagara Falls one is definitely the stronger one.
Which isn't saying much because the first half of the card is fucking horrible.
Because Virgil Demento probably goes 13 minutes.
Oh, yeah, and it's probably horrible.
The same thing with Backlund and Beverly.
Horrible.
Tito and Papa Shango. So.
Maybe you got lucky and it was a short match and it wasn't too bad, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you. I mean, so let's say the show starts at 8 or 7.
7.
So let's say 7 o'clock. You're probably around like 9:15.
Yeah.
I'd show up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Show ends at 10. You show up around 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch the last hour. Be done with it.
Yeah. On to some syndication news here on the May 29th edition of Superstars. The Kid rejected the offer of $2,500 and $5,000
Yeah.
to face Razor Ramon again. And it's announced that Shawn Michaels would wrestle Crush at the King of the Ring pay-per-view in a bonus match. I'm not really sure I care about that. I mean, they don't really have a story to warrant a King of the Ring match, right? Even as a bonus match.
Yeah, I don't think that's selling too many tickets.
No, I don't think so either. So that's, I guess, a little bit disappointing. Nothing really much going on there on syndication.
Yeah,
so let's go into the May 31st, 1993 edition of Raw. And this one is live from the Manhattan Center. We start off the show with Jim Duggan. He's outside, and it's Memorial Day. So he wants to dedicate the episode to everyone who has served for the United States and to keep them all safe. And that leads to the predictable USA chant as he walks into the Manhattan Center. That leads us to the Raw opening video. And then we go to the arena where Vince McMahon, Bobby Heenan, and Randy Savage are there. And they promote what we'll see on the program. They focus mainly on the Jannetty Bigelow title match that will have Luna and Sherry at ringside as well. And Heenan says that Luna has scissors and that she will restyle Sherry's hair.
Yeah, just to kind of recap for me the opening of this episode of Raw. The crowd outside the Manhattan Center was pretty decent for this, so it did kind of look legit, so that was good. Probably because they were just about to go live, so that might have been really, hey, we're standing in line to get in kind of thing. So I kind of believe that, so that was good. I didn't like the fact that this starts out, and obviously we're probably going to be pandering to the Memorial Day thing for this whole show.
Yeah.
Wasn't really looking forward to that. I get it, but at the same time, there should be a divide, and at the end of the day, there's still a show to put on. There's still stories to progress. I'm not a big fan of wasting Raws because I think we've wasted enough Raws. So I just hope, and here I was, a minute in, like, okay, we've gotten really, really spoiled with the last couple of weeks. Damn it, Memorial Day, don't ruin it. Do not ruin it. So that's kind of where I was for this one. Just to kind of summarize real quick, I think that holiday shows typically, especially with the WWF, are usually not very good.
I was just going to say, yeah.
And I think that's because WWE and WWF realizes that if a family has this on a TV, and on a day like Memorial Day, they're probably cooking out, and they're probably not paying much attention to the TV. So maybe you don't want to go too heavy on important stuff that you might miss, because odds are that family is going to miss some stuff. So that's how I'm trying to validate it in my mind, and that's kind of what I'm expecting going into this one.
No, I think that's a pretty accurate assumption. Because usually any kind of holidays that require traveling, so your Christmas, your Thanksgiving, 4th of July,
your long weekends,
yeah. So I think they take that into consideration with kind of what they might be focusing on.
Right.
So we start the show. The first match here is the WWF Intercontinental Champion Marty Jannetty defending against Bam-Bam Bigelow. Prior to the match even starting, Sherry Martel attacks Luna, and then that allows Bigelow, after pulling Luna out of the ring, he gets back in and takes advantage by attacking Jannetty from behind. Bigelow works over the champion with some basic strikes, and he turns Jannetty inside out with a shoulder block, which seemed like an oversell, so he naturally does it again.
Yeah, I thought so too, because when Marty kind of hits Bigelow doesn't necessarily move, and Marty just flips inside out.
Yeah, he clearly turned himself inside out.
Yeah. Side note, with the women here.
Yeah.
I thought Sherry looked like she was wearing maternity clothes.
Yes.
Like they were not flattering at all. It was like all black.
Yes.
Very comfortable looking clothes. Not typical of sensational
She
Sherry.
looked like a mom.
Yeah. Yes, she did.
For sure.
On the other hand, Bobby makes note of Luna's appearance and says that he's a sick man. Bobby says Luna, he takes a look. She goes, "Look at Luna. She is beautiful." He goes, "I love to see a woman's scalp."
What?
And I was just like, okay. What the fuck? It's a little sick, Bobby. But yeah, he goes, "Oh, I love seeing a woman's scalp." So he must get.
Oh, so he likes seeing the sides.
It's like
of her
bald
head.
chicks. Yeah, he likes bald chicks. I was like, okay, that's a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bizarre statement.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. Yeah. Using that good old word again, scalp.
Scalp, yeah. What is...
Holy shit, I want them to delete... I want them to censor scalp on every episode. This is going to be...
Like, you know, I guess when people... When you have, like, a year, so, like, let's say 1996.
Yeah.
You'll think, like, NWO.
Right.
Or whatever. Or, like, 98. You're thinking, like, DX. 1993 is going to be, like, the year of the scalp. You know? Because it's just every week. It's just
Holy
something
shit.
else.
It's true.
Involving a scalp. Like,
it's true.
Whether it's scalping or somebody's scalp, it's just...
They make reference to it. They make a joke about it.
They don't forget it at all.
I know.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Back to the action here. Bigelow decks Jannetty with a clothesline, and then Jannetty avoids a second one to deliver an overhand strike. In a few right hands, Marty goes to the top and drops Bigelow with another overhand blow for a near fall. Marty continues to deliver right hands on Bigelow, but is met with a headbutt. Bigelow backdrops Jannetty, but Marty lands on his feet. That leads to Bam-Bam locking in a bear hug. Bigelow rams Marty back first into the corner to keep control of the match. Marty messes up a head scissors out of the corner and attempts a second one, which looks sloppy as well, so it's not really accomplishing much.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't work twice. So let's go for a third head scissors. But Bam Bam is able to counter that one with an electric chair slam.
It looked really good.
It did. And we go to commercial from there.
Mid-match commercial.
You gotta love it. Back from break, Bigelow has kept control of Jannetty with a headlock, and Bigelow continues to beat on Jannetty with strikes and a standing dropkick. Bigelow hits a running splash in the corner. The commentary team is talking about Bigelow scalping Tatanka, which is something I didn't think they'd mention. Remember, Bigelow a couple weeks ago had cut Tatanka's hair, like the red part.
Yeah, with no real, frame of reference. It was just, it's what he did.
Well, it's in reference to, like, when he saved Sherry from an attack because Sherry interrupted him or whatever.
Oh, yeah, when he jumps off the interview stage. Or
yeah.
whatever.
I mean, so needless to say, Bigelow needs some anger management if that's his reaction to someone cutting him off.
Fuck?
I'm going to scalp you. Great, with scissors.
Yeah.
Safety scissors at that, too, so that's extra helpful. Jannetty boots Bigelow in the corner and then comes off the middle rope with a clothesline for a 2 count. Bigelow comes off the ropes and staggers after an elbow strike. Jannetty drives Bigelow face first down to the mat for a near fall. Jannetty super kicks Bigelow, followed by a clothesline and drop kick for another near fall.
Huge super kick by Marty Jannetty there. Sounded really good.
I was going to say, it sounded very good. And it wasn't like an example of slapping your leg or anything.
No.
So...
But the camera angle was really kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like the back of Bigelow.
Right.
So who knows how really well it hit, but it sounded fucking devastating.
If they had done like the hard cam, it probably would have even looked that much better.
Yeah.
Bigelow scoop slams Jannetty, followed by a double underhook backbreaker, and then Bigelow gets grabbed by Sherry Martel, and Marty knocks Bigelow to the floor from behind. Marty comes off the ropes for a baseball slide to send Bigelow into the guard railing, and then Jannetty heads to the top rope, taking Bigelow out with a crossbody on the floor. I thought he was going to get caught and like rammed into the ring post.
So did I.
It was pretty cool to see the crossbody to the floor.
Well, so he hits him, and he hits him like a ton of bricks. Because when they hit, Jannetty kind of stops, and then they fall. Yeah. So it looked like they collided when that happened.
Bigelow prevents Marty from getting back into the ring, and then Bigelow sends the champion into the post. Bigelow rolls Marty into the ring first, and then gets distracted by Sherry, leading to Bigelow getting counted out. So a pretty cheap finish on a otherwise enjoyable title defense from Jannetty. After the match, Bigelow slams Jannetty, followed by a standing senton to lay out the champion. Sherry gets in the ring to check on Marty. As I just mentioned here, I thought it was a fun match. Bigelow was impressive against Jannetty, looking like a beast with some of the power offense there. And Jannetty did some high-risk moves that kind of kept the action going. It went about like 10 minutes or so it didn't overstay its welcome.
Yep.
But that finish is pretty bad on a couple of reasons. Because, one, Jannetty needs credible victories.
He just won the belt.
Yeah, he just won the belt 2 weeks ago. And I know that Bigelow's a guy on the rise, a heel or whatever. But there's a way I would have to think there's a way to incorporate Luna and Sherry for Marty to get a pinfall victory instead of the count-out victory. Now, I think even if you use the women and Jannetty, steals a victory with a roll-up, let's say, it still doesn't really help Marty because he needed a distraction.
Right.
So you're kind of screwed in the sense of you're allowing Marty to kind of look like a chump either way. by choosing Bigelow to be the first guy to defend against.
All right, so here's my qualms with this match because you know what? Like you said, it was a nice little match. It had some really, really decent action. I think Bam Bam and Marty worked pretty well together here. There really wasn't too many screw-ups. I know Marty was a little sloppy, especially with the head scissors and a couple other things, but again, I'm trying to give Marty the benefit of the doubt. So other than that, the whole thing for me is, first of all, Luna did nothing. Luna did nothing at ringside. Sherry barely did anything, and it really was only worked into kind of towards the end of the match. So right there, I thought that was a waste.
Well, I mean, the beginning.
But that's it.
Right.
But that's it. They played no factor really in the match. Sherry kind of did, but Luna really didn't. Like, she didn't do really anything. Which I thought it should have kind of probably been the other way around, but regardless.
Yeah.
The finish. My whole thing is, if neither of these guys can lose clean right now, why book them against one another? Why do it?
Yeah.
I get you're going to get a good match. That's great. That's awesome. Good opening for Raw, like a lot of action, like we talked about. But at the end of the day, if you can't get a finish out of it, why are you fucking doing it? Don't do it. Avoid it. Don't have that match.
Pick anybody but Bigelow.
Anybody but Bigelow. Anybody.
You know?
He could have easily took on, I would even say, I personally, since Bigelow's been here a little bit longer, you could do it to Mr. Hughes. Give Mr. Hughes a shot. Hey, you're an up-and-comer, big guy. You've been winning matches. I think you can have Mr. Hughes get pinned by Marty Jannetty.
Well, you know, I don't know if I want to do that because then you kind of kill off Hughes already. Right before
but do you
the King
need
of the
him?
Ring.
You don't need him.
Well, if you see potential in him. Why not put like IRS in there?
You could.
Ted DiBiase.
You could.
And have Jannetty, beat one of the tag team champions. And then Heenan on commentary can be like, well, he's not a singles wrestler anymore.
Or even if you steal from one of the house shows, you take Papa Shango. He beats Papa Shango.
Well, that as a title match would be kind of
Well, Papa Shango's been there a while.
What about Doink?
Two back-to-back losses, though?
Yeah, but this one's a title match.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
Or like Fatu.
Could have. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like Fatu got a world title match out of nowhere.
Yeah,
so why don't he just get an IC
Fatu.
title match?
Right.
You know?
Could have done Fatu. Yeah, I just... It just baffles me. I think going into it, they see it on paper like, oh, that would probably be a nice little match. Then they get to it and they're like, fuck, we got to figure out how to book this match. And then they're like, fuck, we got to come up with a finish. And they're like, fuck, we're going to do another DQ.
Like, why?
Or another counter.
Yeah. What about like Razor Ramon?
For the IC belt?
Here's the reasoning, right? So he recently lost to the Kid.
Right.
Okay. And he had a promo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, next week, so like, let's say this is from last week. So you have, Razor Ramon's getting a title opportunity. Now, I guess in the context of the storyline, it doesn't make much sense because he did just lose to the Kid,
right.
losing some steam. But Marty Jannetty, no matter the situation here, is going to be presented as the underdog.
Yes.
So the story here could be, well, how much of an underdog is Jannetty really? Because Ramon already lost to a small guy, right? So you could have Ramon on the verge of victory. And then you can have a guy like Savage, or even have Brett come out again with 1, 2, 3
to distract him or something like that. Yeah.
So you continue the match, but then have Marty win the match, not just based off of the distraction. So let's say if Brett came out again or whatever, or Savage is doing it from commentary, Marty can do like a drop kick, sending him into the corner again. Ramon falls down and he comes off the top with the fist drop.
Right. 1,
2, 3.
Right.
And then Ramon will be like, what the hell?
Right.
So you can lead back into house show matches with, let's say, Randy Savage.
Right.
And leading into the King of the Ring with Brett.
And you know what? To be fair, if you really had to have Bam Bam, that's who you want to have him fight. Fine. Why not do one of the go-to finishes with Sensational Sherry, have her climb up to the top rope with her heel, fucking go to hit Bam Bam, and maybe she stumbles, so she doesn't necessarily hit Jannetty, but she stumbles because Luna shakes the ropes.
Yeah.
and some kind of shit happens like that, and you work that into the finish. Like, use the women.
What if they just had Bigelow win the title?
I don't know if I'd like that.
You don't think you'd like that?
I think it's too soon, because really, who's Bigelow beat?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's the thing. So my reasoning, though, is let's say Bigelow were to win the title.
All right.
Okay. So he'd be the Intercontinental Champion going into the King of the Ring.
Right.
So what if Jack Tunney, a notorious guy who favors baby faces,
Right, yeah.
what if he's like, you know what, Bigelow, since you're in the King of the Ring tournament and you're a champion, every match that you're in, the title's on the line.
That would have been cool.
You know? So he defends against Jim Duggan, who has had a couple of IC title matches.
Yeah.
So Bigelow can retain over him or something.
Right.
The next match after that is Bigelow against Tatanka, if we're judging by just faces or whatever.
Right.
Tatanka recently had an Intercontinental title match.
Yeah.
Bigelow wins that one.
Yeah.
And let's say in the main event, or the finals of the King of the Ring, it's, you know, a guy like Brett or Mr. Perfect, whichever, against Bam-Bam Bigelow. But it's like, okay, it's for the King of the Ring crown, but it's also for the Intercontinental Championship. And let's say we have Brett win the title there, or win the thing. So would that be something that you would be interested in, knowing that likely, you know, if Brett were to win the tournament, he'd also go back to the Intercontinental Championship? Was that a way of downgrading Brett, or is it another way to maybe even re-elevate the Intercontinental Championship? Knowing that Hogan potentially is your world champion, won't be on a lot of the big shows, a former world champion like Brett carrying the Intercontinental title.
As the workhorse championship, yes. That makes sense to me. I think it would be a great way to elevate the title, but at the same time, you're taking away from the King of the Ring too much. If the whole reason for the tournament is you're going to be crowned King of the Ring, IC belt kind of just seems like a consolation prize. Like, oh, you get that too. So, again, if I'm booking, and this goes back to what we were talking about last week, I'm using the King of the Ring as a showcase of the future. Okay, so if you have a guy like Bam Bam in the finals compared to a guy like Bret Hart, I'm letting Bam Bam win because he needs it, A. B, that even elevates the title because not only was he able to go through all the matches with the belt, he retained it. So he's a damn good champion. All in what, one night? You know, that's huge.
That'd be a star-making performance.
Star-making performance. And then, in a way, it does de-elevate Brett, I think, a little bit because really, you assume if you've won the King of the Ring, that's where you're headed. You're headed for the championship. To whereas with Bam Bam, I think you could get away with him winning the King of the Ring and then just being a really solid Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he would need that next step quite yet.
No, I mean, I agree with you about, you probably should keep Brett away from the Intercontinental title.
For now, yes.
Yeah. I was just throwing out a different scenario.
It would be interesting. I like the idea of the Intercontinental belt being woven into the tournament. Making it to the finals, I don't know. Like, it's tough.
Plus, I don't think you want to play like if Bigelow were to lose,
exactly
hot potato with the
yeah,
belt
you
so
don't
much.
want to do that.
Because what, in 4 weeks, that would have meant 2 title changes?
Yes.
Or something, so.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And I think, all things considered, you really can't have it in the tournament because I think it's more of a negative than a positive. But it's a very interesting idea. I like the idea of a title being part of the King of the Ring tournament, if that makes sense. Okay. Even if it's just the champion and the title's not on the line, oh, he's got a better shot. He's the Intercontinental Champion. Right. You know, he's no schmuck. So he's probably got a good chance of maybe winning it. I think that's a cool kind of a side note, you know.
Yeah. I can see both sides of the scenario though. So
completely.
You were a fan of the match, just not a fan of the finish then?
Fan of the match. Marty, after coming back from a pretty sketchy departure, I don't know how many times we've said this, but I really wish we got all we wanted from Marty Jannetty at this time. Unfortunately, we don't. So I'm savoring these moments. This is a match that I enjoyed. I think it's a good showing for both guys, even though, again, there were some hiccups. The finish really took a lot away from it for me, but not a bad match. Good opener for Raw. Okay.
It's noted at this point, following the match, that New Jersey Nets center Dwayne, wish I could even pronounce his name.
Come on, Bob.
Shinitsu.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Jannetty or something.
Mitsubishi,
whatever. Yeah. I honestly have never. I mean, I'm pretty into sports. I've never heard of him, so I'm assuming he was a backup center or something for the Nets.
That seems to be a common thing with the sports celebrities they show in the crowd.
Yeah, they're not.
You're always like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, they're not using well-known people at all.
No.
So following that little reveal of the sports celebrity, I guess for New Jersey,
And it was funny too because he's cheering and clapping for Macho Man.
it's probably the only guy he knows.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So Sherry Martel gets back in the ring and she grabs the microphone. She wants Luna Vachon right now.
Yeah.
So after a little bit of yelling a bit, Luna makes her way back out, and then Mike Chioda is preventing Luna. I thought it was kind of funny that it took one guy, because usually if it's like if there's two
apart,
if it's like two male wrestlers in the same scenario, like the entire
there's like 10 guys.
Yeah, the entire like all the officials. It took one.
Yeah.
It took one referee.
Right.
So Sherry gets kind of fed up with it. She goes to the floor and she attacks Luna with right hands after tackling her, and then Sherry delivers a scoop slam on the floor. So Sherry gets back into the ring, and I guess she was like maybe taunting Luna or something. Then Bam-Bam Bigelow, the true man that he is, gets in the ring and holds Sherry.
Yeah.
And Sherry's reaction is like, "Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, what's gonna happen?"
I almost thought Bam Bam was gonna fucking.
Oh, I was hoping.
I almost thought
man.
that he was gonna do some kind of, at least some slam.
Yeah.
And just slam her down.
Yeah, I know it's like years from now, but if he had done like the greetings from Asbury Park
Oh
under Sherry, it'd be like,
God.
whoa,
Oh
like
my
mega
God.
heat. But none of that happens. Instead, he just holds Sherry, and that allows Luna to get several shots in. She's like tearing at her clothes, which I thought, great, her bra's going to come off for sure. Luckily, it did not. Tatanka runs into the ring, and he attacks Bigelow to save Sherry. So coming out of that segment, we go to the King of the Ring ad, which is focusing on the Hogan-Yokozuna rematch at the event in Dayton, Ohio. We go back to the arena, and Tatanka is helping Sherry to the backstage area. Randy Savage is getting annoyed with Bobby Heenan and Vince McMahon at this point, and McMahon tells Savage to cool down a little bit.
Yeah, so Savage is getting crazy, but to jump back to the whole Sherry, Luna, Tatanka, Bam Bam thing, I don't like the pairing of Tatanka saving Sherry all the time. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, she has like association with now two guys.
Yeah, it's
Jannetty and Tatanka.
It's really weird.
Yeah. Does that mean she's gonna have an association with Crush?
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, no, thank you. I like that they did a little measure of revenge for Sherry here from WrestleMania, because she kind of hits the same slam on Luna on the outside that Luna hit on her at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I really liked that little. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but like I picked up on it, so I thought that was really good. Also interesting to note, Sherry's chin was bleeding a little bit following the attack, which I found kind of interesting. Yeah, she was cut a little. I assumed it was from maybe Luna's nails or something.
Probably.
But yeah, she was cut on the chin a little bit. So I thought that was really kind of pushing the edge. Mm-hmm. Although it's kind of a convoluted way of doing everything, I enjoy the stuff between Luna and Sherry. I think that's a natural fit to have those two feud forever. Like, never let them get along. Bam Bam and Luna together, like, fuck yes. That is perfect. Love that pairing. Not so much, of course, Tatanka and Sherry. But regardless, I thought that this was a nice little segment. I'm glad that it didn't get a whole spotlighted angle and like...
It was after the match.
It was a post-match.
Like
Yeah. I'm glad that they did it that way. Also, so the video package, because we skipped right over that. So it's basically promoting just Hogan and Yokozuna's match. And it's like their story thus far leading up to King of the Ring. And I think it was funny because it just seems like a blatant, please be interested in this match. Like, please care about this match. Look at this video package we put together for you. Doesn't it look interesting? I just feel like it's a grasp at straws.
No, it is.
Yeah. So, I
mean, it's really not even a strong feud.
No.
I mean...
No.
I remember having read articles, and I think even seen like various YouTube videos about it. Like, Hogan's career is mostly... I mean, he's obviously been presented as a face for most of this run, if not all of the run here in WWF. But a lot of the things he does is heel.
Yeah.
Even dating back to the Mega Powers, I think we've briefly talked about it before, but like the Mega Powers thing with like Elizabeth and Savage, like Hogan's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, you're touching my woman. Like, oh, what are you doing? Like that type of context.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's like Yokozuna just had a 10-minute match with Bret Hart. Hogan comes out, is like, I want to fight you.
Fuck you, I'm
like,
stealing the belt.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like how...
I've dropped my best friend because he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Remember,
He was
that's the
holding
whole
me back.
reason I fucking came back.
Right.
But you ain't seen him anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just such a... I put it this way, man. I think Hacksaw Yoko has more heat than Hogan Yoko.
I would say so.
I would rather see, at King of the Ring, Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Yokozuna for the WWF Championship. As Yoko, the champion, beats Hacksaw again. But I'd rather see that match.
I think, you know what? I think that would be, especially as a filler title defense, if Yoko had...
Exactly.
That'd be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus, it'd be like the rare title opportunity for Duggan. I don't think Duggan's really ever had a lot of...
Yeah, and in '93, give him his shot. Give him his shot. He's been really putting in some solid work.
Yeah.
Other than not knowing how to operate a fucking telephone.
Right.
Duggan hasn't done
that was
too
embarrassing.
badly.
Yeah. Especially the matches with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You know, those were
look at that stuff.
pretty solid enough.
Even the altercations between he and Yoko have been really interesting. Like, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, their showdown prior to Mania there
Right.
was probably one of the hotter segments that we've seen. So.
Yeah.
So coming out of that whole situation there, the whole video and pull apart or whichever, and then the freak out at the commentary table, we go to our second match of the evening, and it is the Steiner Brothers against Rich Myers and the Executioner. I believe we haven't seen the Executioner since like the first episode.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Against the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah, so we get Rich Myers and the Executioner here taking on some enhancement guys named the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah, some scrubs.
Yeah. And I wrote here, if this match is any longer than a minute, it'll be a miracle. Rich Myers, so the Steiners are coming out. I don't even think the other two got an entrance. I think they were just in the ring.
Yeah, they normally don't. The enhancement guys.
So Rich Myers looks genuinely scared and basically had no interest in starting the match. So I was able to catch this kind of in the background of the Steiners' entrance because the two are talking, and then before it's even made a notion that, okay, let's start getting the tag match set up, like get in the corner, Rich Myers was kind of looking around and like beelined it for the corner, like, I'm not starting this match. So I thought that was really good.
Wow.
And I'm thinking that was a shoot. Like, I'm not starting with these guys. Have fun, Executioner. Like, you're fighting them.
It might very well be true. That might be very well true.
Yeah.
So this match starts off with Rick controlling Executioner early on with a clothesline, and then Myers, I guess, gets some courage and tags into the match, and then Rick stops him with a knee lift, and then Rick has him over his shoulder and then drives Myers into the corner midsection first.
Yeah, real quick though. So, so Rick's throwing the Executioner around to start the match up.
As expected.
Yeah, he's throwing him around. He even hits like a stiff body block, and I swear to you, Executioner was knocked out. Because, like, he barely got up. Steiner had to drag him off the mat. And when Rich got tagged in, I swear I think I heard the crowd laugh.
You know,
Like,
well, because,
this guy just got knocked the fuck out.
Well, the visual here.
You
like,
just tagged in, and you're fucked.
Well, the Steiner brothers are these jacked up guys.
Yeah.
Rich Myers is like Joe Dirt. You know? And he's about to walk right into the ring. Like,
my God.
Yo, dude, let's do this.
Well, if you
And
look
it's
at
like,
it,
no.
it's like, oh, the badass Executioner just got his shit rocked. Come on in here, mullet boy. I'm about to kill you.
When I
And
was
the crowd's
it,
giggling.
Yeah,
Like, they're
well,
like,
I was
oh,
giggling
fuck.
too because when I was watching, I was like, this guy reminds me of Joe Dirt.
It's totally.
Of course, this is like 7 years before Joe Dirt
Dude,
was probably even thought of. but
nail on the head.
It was pretty funny.
Nail on the head.
So Scott tosses Myers around with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. And then this is when I started to notice something in this match. It's when Scott does a pump handle slam. Or no. Yes. I believe it's on the scoop slam, actually. So he does a pump handle slam and then a scoop slam. But on the scoop slam, he doesn't like just gently put him down. No, he freaking whips him down.
Dude.
Like to the point where he bounces off the mat.
Dude.
And there's just a look of Scott Steiner like, I don't give a fuck.
So, yes.
That is probably why Myers was like, fuck my life.
Dude. When he grabs Rich up for the belly to belly, it looks like he's squeezing him so hard. Rich Myers looks like a fucking rag doll.
Yeah.
And he's just when he chucks him across the ring for the Irish whip, he nails that fucking turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner's putting 110% into this ass whooping.
I mean, there's like, I think Scott Steiner does like an overhand blow to his back.
Dude.
Not lightly.
Slap.
He fucking clubbed him.
Yeah.
Like, that probably took the wind out of Rich Myers.
Dude.
How Rich Myers survived this?
I know. Well,
I don't know.
It's so bad. It's so bad that even Bobby on commentary says, boy, these two really are rough on you, aren't they? And Vince goes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So they're just out there to have fun and really beat on some guys, unfortunately.
That's exactly what this was.
Yeah.
So Rick continues with a stiff-looking kick upon being tagged in.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, remains in the ring as Scott then sets up Myers. And I'm thinking, okay, just a vertical suplex, no big deal. But then he, like, holds him up, and I'm like, oh, fuck no, he's not about to do this. So he, like, has him, like, on delayed vertical suplex, and I'm thinking, why hasn't he dropped him yet? And then I was like, oh, my God, he's going to do the fucking screwdriver. Sure enough, he fucking spikes Myers with the screwdriver. The crowd is like, holy shit.
They stood up out of their chair like, what the fuck was that?
If Scott Steiner ever were to go singles in the WWF, that's got to be the finishing move.
Completely.
For him.
Completely.
Like, sure, he might not be able to do it to everybody.
No
but
question.
I don't give a fuck.
That's the finish.
That is the greatest pile driver I've ever seen.
It looked like it fucking killed the guy. He looked dead.
Yeah.
You killed him. And that wasn't enough.
No.
Because what else happens, Bob? What else did they do to him?
Well, the only thing I also have noted here is that he's then put on Scott's shoulders. Rick goes to the top and hits the bulldog.
They fucking do the bulldog after that.
So you toss around, overhand blows, stiff kicks, the Steiner screwdriver, which easily would have been out of it. But no, they're like, you're not done yet, buddy. Let's do the top rope bulldog.
If you ever heard stories in the news where it's, a homicide and a guy is shot and killed, and then the killer proceeds to unload his clip on the dead body, that's what the Steiners did to this fucking guy. Not only do they kill him, they maim him. It's overkill. You never see the Executioner again. I swear to God, both of these guys went to the back with a concussion. And Executioner, even so when they celebrate, they get the pin off the bulldog off the top. Executioner is nowhere to be found. I feel like he wasn't even there to break up the pin. Like, he's not even on the ring apron. He's just gone.
He probably ran.
It was a fucking massacre. It was a massacre.
I loved it, though.
It was great.
It was the best. I mean, the Steiners are just so... Like, I know we've said, like, it's kind of played out. They're doing just squash matches. And to a certain extent they are. But it is just very enjoyable. They just manhandle them.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's like the Goldberg effect. You want to see Goldberg go in there, fucking kill somebody, and get out. That's right now what the Steiners are. They're going in there. They're destroying, probably too badly, destroying people and leaving. But I have a slight inkling that maybe the Steiners are being so rough because they're not getting much material. Maybe they're a little frustrated. Like, okay, we're sick of, give us something.
Right.
So if you don't, we're going to put a beating on these guys.
Well, and it's not to say that they're not entertaining in the bigger matches. I mean, the Beverly Brothers matches were okay.
I know.
And, the Rumble match was okay.
Then the Mania match
really
was
good.
Fucking one of the probably the match of the night.
Yeah.
So
when they're given the opportunity to shine, they certainly do shine.
Right. But I think they need more of it, especially on TV, like on a TV level.
Yeah.
So I could easily see that kind of frustration might be playing in a little bit, but I'm thinking Scott and Rick Steiner just get a little bit of enjoyment out of being sharks fed on live TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty much a murder every time we see
Dude, this one was bad. This one was bad.
I will be surprised if we see Rich Myers for the next couple of shows.
If ever again.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see him ever again.
Pretty.
I wouldn't go back after that match.
No, I wouldn't either.
I would never work there again.
Yeah.
Never.
I'd be like, what's WCW doing?
Yes.
I'll go there.
Yeah.
So after the match, we go back to the crowd, and we see that Lee Rosen, a running back for the New York Giants, is in attendance. The name sounds kind of familiar. We watch him be some kind of iconic guy, but who knows? I don't really pay attention to Giants football. Then we get a WWF Mania ad. Usual Todd Pettengill, brush your teeth nonsense.
I want to take that little segment DVD that they keep popping in for that commercial and snap it over my fucking knee. I want to delete that footage.
Yeah.
Because I hate it.
Yeah, Todd Pettingill's is really super corny.
He pisses me off.
It's okay.
Steiner screwdriver.
Ugh.
Todd Pettingill. You want to? Oh, I'll brush your fucking teeth with you.
Yeah, he'd be dead. We go to our third match of the night. It's Mr. Hughes. He's taking on Bert Cento. Hughes tosses Bert with a slam to start off the match, and I think the fans are chanting, "Mr. Hughes, shine my shoes."
Yeah, dude. There's a random guy in the crowd standing up, conducting them to say this, and that's exactly what they're chanting. Exactly what they're chanting. They also chanted, "Hogan sucks."
Yeah. Okay. That was something I wasn't sure about.
They chanted Hogan sucks.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure. I thought maybe they were saying Hughes sucks, but I was like,
oh no.
Because I purposely was like, wait a minute. So I waited, and it's like, that's definitely Hogan.
It was Hogan sucks. And then it was Heenan sucks. So then they turned the chant to Bobby because Vince made a comment, oh, sounds like you got some fans here tonight, Bobby.
See, now I didn't hear the Heenan one. I thought McMahon may have said that to play it off like, oh no, they're saying Heenan sucks.
No, okay. There was a blatant Hogan sucks. And then it switched into a much quieter Heenan sucks, okay. And that was it.
Okay.
But yes, the crowd for some reason was really riled up for this. It's probably the match before. They were out for blood, like, oh fuck, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an interesting time though for them during a Mr. Hughes match.
Yeah, I know.
To be like, oh, Hogan sucks, but the Mr. Hughes shine my shoes.
It's hilarious.
That got me. That cracked
hilarious.
Me. Yeah. Hughes decks Bert with a big boot and then rubs Bert's face into the canvas. Shortly thereafter, Hughes finishes him off with a side slam and then tosses him to the floor. Just your pretty typical Mr. Hughes squash match, I would say, at this point in time. Mm-hmm. Nothing really big going on. From there, we go to the King of the Ring report with Mean Gene is up next, and he goes over the Hogan-Yoko rematch yet again, the King of the Ring tournament, and the match between Michaels and Crush, which is, again, considered a bonus match. I didn't really realize, though, that Dayton, Ohio is considered the heart of America. Because he says, right in the heart of America, Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, I didn't really either. I guess it kind of makes sense where it's located, although I think it would be a little bit more south.
That's what I would have thought.
You know, the heartland of America. But, again, Ohio's got Heartland Wrestling Association. You know what I mean?
Well,
so I guess
yeah, but I don't know.
It makes sense.
The heart, I don't know. To me, when you think of the heart of America, I'm not thinking Dayton, Ohio.
No.
Like, that's just not.
No.
Like New York City, maybe, the heart of America. Or something.
Yeah.
A bigger city, but not that.
Yeah, no, I agree. As far as the squash match, just to really quick go back.
Yeah.
We basically got nothing. I thought it went much too long, especially because Hughes even at one point pulled the guy out of the pin. So I was like, okay, we
just
get it.
Drag it on.
Yeah, just like why do that? I don't think it was as effective as it could have been. I don't like that Mr. Hughes was basically just beating on some little chubby guy.
Yeah, because his first one was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this was a negative outcome for this squash match.
Yeah. I mean,
personally.
For me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I probably would forget about it. I mean,
but isn't that bad, though? You want to be like, oh, do you remember last week when he destroyed that guy?
No, yeah, I guess you're right. Because like the Steiner Brothers one, like I'm going to remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good point. So coming out of the King of the Ring report, we go to our fourth match of the evening. It's Jim Duggan against Bill Thomas. And Thomas is one of the enhancement guys who clearly works out.
Wait, is it Mark Thomas?
No, it says it's Bill.
It's Bill?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
That's what what's his face? McMahon said.
Oh, I thought it was I thought the nameplate said Mark Thomas.
It could be Mark because I have it obviously written down as Bill Thomas. But McMahon did say send it to our ring announcer Bill something. So I'm thinking maybe he mixed it up.
Yeah,
too,
Bill Dunn is the
Bill Dunn.
Interim,
so it might be Mark Thomas. You might be right.
The interim ring announcer.
Okay, so so I didn't see the nameplate.
I think it's Mark Thomas.
That sounds better because I feel like we've seen Mark Thomas before and I've made note of it before, so that makes a lot more sense. But anyway, so Thomas is a guy that he definitely works out. He's a young guy, good body. Duggan is only on the show likely because of Memorial Day.
Right.
I mean, he does have some steam going on from his matches with Michaels and stuff, but Memorial Day, All
That's
American.
what it is. Yeah.
Duggan slams Thomas and then yells into the camera, "Yokozuna!" before delivering right hands in the corner.
Yeah,
so
he
he's
was
sending a message.
Well, he was gonna go for the 10 punches, but only did like 3. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, he might have had barbecue earlier.
He was
Memorial
like
Day.
sweat. He had the meat sweats.
Exactly.
He just couldn't
that
perform.
burger.
Yeah.
We'll give you a 3.
Yeah.
Duggan backdrops Thomas and then plays to the crowd, and he takes Thomas over with a vertical suplex. Duggan spins Thomas around before delivering a scoop slam, and then runs over Thomas with a running clothesline for the win. I mean, nothing really much going on there for a squash match, really.
Yeah, and you know what? During the match, the commentators really weren't commentating on the match itself. It even got to the point where Vince announced that Howard Finkel would be back.
Yes.
And that he was just undergoing a small personal operation. To which Bobby seemed to allude that Finkel was getting a sex change surgery in Denmark.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Finkel was basically going to come back, be a ring girl.
Yeah.
And literally alluded to him getting an illegal sex change surgery.
Yeah, McMahon, I kind of got the vibe that McMahon didn't want to go that route because he's like, no, it's just a minor surgery.
Yeah, he like kept
Personal minor surgery.
He kept trying to shut it down.
Yeah.
But Bobby was just not having it. So that's what's going on while Jim Duggan's fighting this guy in the ring. All right, so they're talking about basically sex changes. As far as the match goes, I mean, it was what it was. I thought we'd get a little bit of more out of Mark Thomas. Hacksaw starts off the match by no-selling him, though. So the guy runs up, he's clubbing him on the back. Hacksaw's selling nothing. And I'd get it if it was the 1-2-3 kid, but this dude was in decent shape. Sell his fucking punches. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that. So, I don't know. And I knew what was coming because, lo and behold, Hacksaw grabs a mic.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say, oh, boy. But, yeah.
It's like pandering.
That's exactly.
I hate pandering.
That's exactly.
Don't pander. Do a really classy, tasteful video package in the beginning, and be done with it. Just be done with it. Yep. So yes, going into it. So Duggan grabs a mic. Bobby, before Duggan speaks, assumes that he's going to announce his retirement, and he was sure he was quitting. Like, oh, I'm done. I quit. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because Duggan grabs the mic. He asks the people to stand on their feet as the American flag is brought into the ring. And Bobby goes, what else are they supposed to stand on? Their hands? He's like making fun of Duggan as he's doing this little gesture. Yeah. He then had the entire arena say the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, very cheesy, full pander. Bobby's even kind of mocking the moment a little bit because he's trying to get Vince to slip up on saying the Pledge of Allegiance. So I just think it was a little overdone. Like, okay, we get it. It's Memorial Day. That's nice. Thank you for that. But it's still Raw. Can we just focus on Raw instead of that?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I don't know. I think if they would have went about it a little bit differently, it would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that.
This is the WWF kissing ass. I'm sick of the WWF kissing ass. Like, stop doing
it's
that.
like not even that. It's just like it just comes across insincere.
Well, that's what I'm saying because
all the charity things.
Exactly.
It's just damage control, and it's like,
Yes.
oh, we are like pro USA.
Yes.
Blah, blah,
Like, I'm so sick of that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Headlock on Hunger, the fucking charities, the Hogan coming out and saying, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, I have demons, but I'm still believe in me. Yeah.
It's the media's fault.
Yeah, the going to schools against, we're all against drugs.
Right.
And this, it's all like, come on, man. Just stop. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Give it up. Be the WWF. Go all in. If you want to be, you know, UNICEF, be fucking UNICEF. You can't be both.
Right.
I don't know.
You gotta pick what side you're gonna do.
Exactly. Put it this way.
Yeah.
You're scalping an Indian and then saying, yay, USA, and don't do drugs, kids.
Right.
Like,
what kind of message you're sending?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's exactly like you said, Bob. It's insincere, and that's what I can't stand.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. So coming out of the Duggan match, we go to the commentary team, and they talk about the upset by the kid. I believe they showed some footage, right? They showed like the moonsault and everything. Ramon has upped his offer to $5,000, and we hear from the 1-2-3 kid.
I was surprised.
I was too. I wasn't expecting to see that. It was a pre-tape though, so
Yep.
it wasn't anything live. But he comments on Ramon's offer, and he says that he was watching the show with his grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
So you're making this kid seem like a wholesome kid.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm 19 or whatever. And it's just like just watching with my grandparents.
Yeah.
And he can't believe the offer is so high, and he says that it's a hard decision, but he just can't accept the offer, knowing what could possibly happen to him.
Right.
So, my question to you, Austin, is that this kid is getting offered $5,000. He's obviously being presented as the underdog, clearly being presented as the face. To me, I'm taking it as he's avoiding it.
Yeah, he's like
kinda
dodging it.
Stepping away from a challenge.
Yeah.
Can I really be like, go kid? I'd be like, come on, man, just take the. Like, if you get beat up, you get beat up. You get $5,000,
Yeah.
right?
And it's 93. $5,000 ain't like it is today.
The inflation on that, it's probably insane.
That's my only qualm with this. I mean, if you think, okay, if your kid, have him decline the first offer. That's fine. I think that makes sense.
Because that was $2,500, so now we're at $5,000,
Yeah.
right?
$5,000. Okay, you know what? If I did it once, I'm gonna try and do it again. I caught Razor slipping once. He's had a lot on his mind. He's frustrated. I'm gonna try it again because I want to make a name for myself in the WWF. This is the company that I want to work for. Of course you go that route. For him to deny it again, it's kind of like, is he doing that to piss Razor Ramon off, or is he doing that because he's a pansy ass?
I'm taking it as a pansy ass.
I know, me too.
That's exactly what
me
it is.
too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of right there with you. I don't know if I necessarily like that.
I don't know if I like the approach of Ramon wanting to pay for a rematch.
Right.
Like that, I don't know if I even like that part. But I
Well,
certainly
he
don't
wants
like
to get his hands on him. So
right.
bad.
I get the
Yeah.
desperation part of that.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't like the part of $5,000. No, I can understand. Sure, $2,500. Yeah,
have him
decline that.
Decline that. Yeah.
But if you double that to $5,000,
For one match.
and let's say realistically, let's say if he were to get killed by Ramon
Right.
in a 3-minute match,
Right.
or whatever the case,
Right.
at least you can be like, well, I got $5,000.
Right. And it's funny too because when Razor makes mention, because I think they show when he makes mention of the $5,000 or whatever, Bobby
Yes.
goes, "I would take it.
Yeah.
I'll do it." So it's like, okay, well, the kid probably should take it as well, you know.
Well, you know what? I mean, why don't I'll just predict maybe what could potentially happen here. But why wouldn't you just have like the kid take the $5,000, have the match, right? As soon as the bell rings, skedaddle out of there, steal the money.
Yeah, but is that a face thing?
It's a smart thing.
Well, usually faces are dumb, Bob.
That's right.
Look at Hacksaw.
Yeah.
He's kind of silly. I don't know. I think if I'm doing it, he takes the $5,000 and fucking pins him again. That's what I'm doing. So not only does he pin him twice, he gets the money.
Yeah. No, I think I would have him go over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, have him get the $5,000 and lose. It's like, well,
Yeah, that sucks.
But if he gets the $5,000 and wins, it's like he beat him twice.
Yeah.
And he just got $5,000.
Right. Right.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a better. I think that's probably the way you should go with it. So from following that pre-tape, we naturally get a match involving Razor Ramon. I guess you consider it the main event. It's Razor Ramon against Tony Roy.
What's the dude? There was a lot of no-name guys on this show.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot.
Tony Roy, I don't think he's really accomplished anything.
I may be thinking, were they on tour somewhere? And like, this is the guys that were there to be live. Like, we only had a couple guys that could be live for this.
No, because I remember reading that there weren't any shows Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. All right.
So, I don't know. They might have
Interesting.
just. He might be this a close guy to the area. So.
Okay.
So the fans are once again chanting 1, 2, 3, with
Yep.
Savage encouraging them to do so. Ramon gets distracted, and Roy nearly wins with a roll up. And I swear to God, I thought maybe they were gonna fucking have him win the match, but Ramon kicks out and decks Roy with a clothesline to get control of the contest.
I think it would be a pretty interesting gimmick for Razor Ramon to take on. That he's like this big, badass looking guy, and he consistently gets beat by enhancement guys.
Well, on that near fall, I was thinking about what we were talking about, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. Like building a stable of enhancement guys.
Yeah, what? Two weeks ago,
Yeah.
we talked about
like PJ Walker.
PJ Walker, yeah.
Like, why not have him win?
I
And then
know.
have a group of them.
Dude, I know.
You know?
I want that to happen.
That would be kind of funny.
I want that.
Be
Well,
kinda
okay. Oh, dude, think of this, all right? So 1, 2, 3 kid gets the pin and the $5,000 from Razor Ramon and recruits the other guys with the money.
Like a grand each.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
join me and we'll take over WWF. We'll just beat all the top guys. Like,
Scott
I'll
Taylor's
pay
the
you.
Intercontinental
Yeah,
Champion.
dude, here's $1,000, dude. Go out there and beat them.
Yo, Mark Thomas, we need some muscle.
Don't do the job. Go out there and beat him. Here's your payday, and just fucking beat the guy. Make him look bad. That'd be so good.
So, okay. Let's go. Let's revisit this before we get to the match. Or the rest of the match. So, like, 1, 2, 3 kid would be the leader.
Completely.
Scott Taylor.
Yes.
PJ Walker.
Yes.
Mark Thomas, I would use as the muscle.
I'd put him in there. Who was the fall guy? Who did we say was good?
Oh, Glenn Ruth.
Glenn Ruth, you could do.
Yeah.
Even fucking Gilbert or whoever.
Yeah, Dwayne Gill.
Yeah, Dwayne Gill. You could easily make a little stable with that. Have a fall guy, have the muscle, have the leader, a team.
I think that'd be kind of, comical.
It'd be awesome.
For sure, yeah.
I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, and just use them on the TV.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need to be on pay-per-view or nothing.
No, just TV.
Yeah.
TV guys.
I like that idea. Back to the match. Ramon works over Roy with several strikes in the corner and then misses a clothesline, but hits a fallaway slam. Roy gets another near fall with a roll-up, and then Ramon works over Roy with stomps in the corner. Ramon controls Roy with an abdominal stretch. And then there's the We Want the Kid chant. That starts up. Ramon puts Roy on the top turnbuckle and then hit a back suplex. And I mean, he folds Roy.
Dude, the guy was kissing his own nuts.
Yes.
He was
That is
kissing
very accurate.
his nuts.
Yes. Because,
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like his neck. Like his shoulders and neck just boom up right into his groin.
I just couldn't even believe it.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. But wait, there's more, because Ramon ends the match with the Razor's Edge and then folds Roy again.
Again.
So it's like, damn.
fuck.
These poor guys this week.
Dude, yeah.
Fucking
The backdrop was really bad, though. That was really
yeah,
bad.
that was the worst of the two. But when he did the Razor's Edge, I was like, okay, he's going to move. And I thought, like, right before he dropped him, like, he's not going to fool him again. And he did.
Oh, dude.
I was like,
he
oh my God,
He
poor
did.
guy. So I thought that was a pretty productive win for Ramon. They're like certainly playing up the kid thing. He's got a direction here.
did. Yep.
I mean, the kid I think is going to be.
He's over.
He's over.
He's over.
He's going to be a fixture on Raw by the sounds of it.
Yep.
Although it will be kind of interesting to see the kid in an enhancement match with him being the guy to go over.
Yeah, that's a good
that
point.
That will be kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
I don't know.
because he's easily by far the smallest guy on the roster. Like not even close.
Stickman.
Stickman. That's right. What did you think of the match? You think it was good for Ramon?
I think it was much needed for Razor Ramon because he really hasn't gotten shit lately. Yeah. So it was a nice win to get him a little bit more momentum back in his corner, because up until this point he really hasn't had much of any.
Right.
So I think it was effective. I'm glad that it still progressed the 1, 2, 3 Kid storyline, even though Kid wasn't even there. Like that was good. The crowd really helped him out on that one. But yeah, I think it was good for Razor Ramon for sure.
Right. That's good. The commentary team then promotes next week's episode. Apparently next week Yokozuna will be on King's Court. Mm-hmm. And then one of the members of the Head Shrinkers will team with one of the members of Money Incorporated to take on one of the members of the Smoking Guns and one of the members of the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I don't know why that's so convoluted.
It's like have separate matches. Why are they?
Yeah, I don't know. Out of that, who would you ideally, I guess, square off in that match?
So what, you have Fatu?
Okay, so Head Shrinkers and Money Incorporated. So you have Fatu and who?
Probably IRS.
So you're going to go Fatu, IRS.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
two heavy hitters.
All right, and then you're going to have who for the Guns and Steiners?
I would say Billy, but something tells me they're going to do Bart. So I'm going to say probably Bart Gunn. Mm-hmm. And You gotta go Scott Steiner.
I would have to think so. Because I was thinking Fatu and then DiBiase
Yeah.
with taking on Billy and Scott.
I don't know if they're gonna do Billy.
Well, I feel like if they go Bart, you gotta go. Well, you would go Scott still, I think.
Well, if you think about it,
But if you
Bart
go
and
Billy,
Scott
maybe
are
Rick.
badasses.
Yeah.
So like, okay,
Well, I'm just trying to think of like two different ways. So like Fatu is like a brawler guy or whatever, and
Yeah.
DiBiase's more methodical. So it's like two different.
okay,
styles.
yeah.
So then if they go Billy, he's the fast-paced guy, and then Scott like throws guys around.
Okay. Yeah, I could see. I would prefer Billy, believe me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something tells me they're gonna pick friggin' Bart.
Right. Well, that will be our next episode. I don't think they're in the Manhattan Center.
That's a weird match.
Poughkeepsie.
Well, because what do the other guys do? Just stand on the outside
Yeah,
of
they'll
the
probably
ring?
just be at ringside.
Like, that's stupid.
Well, it's going to lead to
Just have the teams.
8 guys brawling.
I was gonna say, just have the teams fight each other.
Yeah.
Just do like the full teams.
Yeah, so like the opener could be like what? The Head Shrinkers against the Steiners again? Or something? Because I wouldn't want to do Money incorporating Steiners on Raw.
No, I'm
for
I'm
us, that'd be
saying
great,
do 4-on-4.
Oh, well, that's what they're doing at the pay-per-view.
Oh.
They're not going to do that on Raw. They're doing that at the pay-per-view. I'm thinking like the opening match would be Head Shrinkers against Steiner Brothers rematch, and then like the main event, Money Incorporated against Steiner. And
Or you could do a 4 corners or whatever, and you can tag out the different partners.
Oh, so each.
That would be cool.
Why not? Yeah, why don't it be like a tag
Like a
title match?
2-2-2-2.
Right, no, but how about a tag title match? 4-way. Money Incorporated defending against Head Shrinkers, Guns, and Steiners. And then at the pay-per-view, they got a team with the Head Shrinkers to take on the guy.
That would be interesting.
Or maybe at the pay-per-view, do the title match that way.
Yeah, you would hope.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. Yeah, that would be a good one.
That will be next week's episode. But this week's episode's not over yet.
No.
No. So Yokozuna's music hits, and he makes his way out. But before we get into any of that, we got a figures ad and then a Royal Rumble video game ad.
Yeah, you know what? And I want to make note
I played
on
that video game. I have that video game.
Yeah, I was going to say.
For the Sega Genesis.
If I'm remembering correctly,
Doesn't Mr. Perfect go like, it's perfect? It's perfect.
oh yeah, they
says
promote
it
it as
numerous
being the
times.
perfect WWF game. So the release is going to be June 8th, 1993, and it's released on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And Perfect is literally in the commercial. And I thought it was interesting to see the game play. I wonder, the whole thing I took away from this was, I wonder how the buy rates for that game were. Because I personally remember it being as kind of difficult, but really fun. But I would be interested to see how well it did. How well it sold.
Well, personally, I remember. I think I would rent the game.
Okay.
I have it now. Obviously bought it now as
Right.
I'm older. But as a kid, I remember renting it,
Right.
and it was difficult to play. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if today I know how to do the finishing moves.
Oh, I've never won a match.
Well, when I was a kid, I got to the point where one of my neighborhood friends, we would play the game like religiously, and I think there was like the Intercontinental title
Okay.
and like the World title, like two different levels, right?
Right.
So like we breezed through the Intercontinental title,
You're right.
and then we had to go through the World title, which was like a little harder, but like eventually like you just picked up the pace. Where it's like, oh, this is fucking easy.
Really? Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I didn't.
But I
get to
don't
that
know how to do
point.
the finishers
Yeah, I didn't get to that point.
because it's like, to me, it was mostly like just punching.
Yeah,
You could
it's
do like a
basic.
scoop slam, like
Yeah.
a vertical suplex or
Yep.
something.
And if I remember correctly, there's really no differentiation between the moves of each guy. Like they
Right.
pretty much did
It's
the
a standard
same
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Papa Shango's on the game. He has a shoulder breaker. Like they have their finishing moves,
Right.
but the secondary moves, they're just
Just
they're carbon copies of each
Yeah,
other. They're the same
standard.
things.
Right.
Although I did like on the game, you could, I guess, like knock the referee down.
Uh-huh.
So like Earl Hebner would be like, ugh, and he'd go down, he'd be out, and I would go to the floor and get a chair,
That's awesome.
and just waffle the guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I would just continually knock down the ref. But like if you didn't hit the ref good enough, he'd DQ you.
Oh.
So you'd have to like get it down. But there was matches where I would just continuously run over the referee just so I could
Heel.
use the chair.
Fucking heel.
Yeah, I just went, "Ba-ba, ba-ba."
That's awesome. Yeah, so I thought that was a nice little trip down memory lane with that commercial.
Yeah, I mean that game, I remember just hours.
We got to break it out right now.
I have it, dude.
Right
on
now.
my Sega Genesis. I got to
Right
play it
now.
out. Let's do it.
That would be funny.
Down.
All right, so should we just go right into this, Bob?
Yeah, so Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji,
Yeah.
they've come down to ringside to be interviewed by Vince McMahon. Fuji doesn't know what Memorial Day is. And McMahon explains it to him about how, it's the arms.
Holla, if you hear me.
Oh, yeah, sirens. I didn't think that. Scott Steiner there. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? If you couldn't hear her, I'm assuming you probably could, but there were sirens going off, so we thought maybe Scott Steiner was making an appearance. Anyway, Fuji doesn't know what Memorial Day is, so McMahon explains it about how it's celebrating people who've served for the country or whatever like that. Fuji says that they will celebrate Memorial Day on June 13th.
Yeah.
McMahon, seemingly befuddled, goes, well, that's the date of the King of the Ring. Yokozuna proclaims that Hulkamania will die. He says it in English, which I don't know how I feel about that, because for the last 8 months, it's been kind of interpreted here that he doesn't speak English, but that was perfectly fine English.
Yeah.
That's the only phrase he knows in English is that Hulkamania will die.
Yeah, well, because Vince kind of hesitatingly holds the mic up to Yokozuna because it looks like Fuji gestures to him.
Right.
And literally, he kind of blurts it out. He's like, Hulkamania will die. Bonsai! Yeah. So it's like, not only did he speak English, then he rhymed it. So I was like, oh, fuck. Damn this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of kills the mystique, I guess, for Yokozuna. Kind of humanizes him on some level. I don't know if I really like that.
Just like Giant Gonzalez grabbing the mic. Oh, I'm not a creature. I'm just a Hispanic guy.
Yeah, right.
Like, what?
Yeah, that's why they have the managers.
Exactly.
Fuji and Whippleman
exactly.
in the ladder there. They should just...
Come on.
They should do the talking. That way you think, like, oh, this guy doesn't know English.
Like you said, it ruins the mystery of the character.
Yeah. McMahon suggests that Hulk Hogan could show up next week on Raw. And Fuji believes we are seeing the next WWF World Champion in Yokozuna. And then McMahon tries to be like, well, don't you remember WrestleMania? And Fuji goes, no, I have short memory. And I forget the past and only think of the future.
Yeah.
Fuji puts over Yokozuna as bigger and stronger. And at this point, we see Jim Duggan is standing up in the balcony, waving the U.S. flag. And then that prompts Fuji to wave the Japanese flag back at him as the show comes to an end.
Yeah, the little towards the end of the little interview segment here, it's definitely apparent to me that Vince was attempting to continue the conversation with like redundant questions because Duggan probably had to get in position. So he's asking, "Oh, well, what about what happened at WrestleMania? What do you intend to happen at King of the Ring?" It's like all the just stupid questions just to keep like the camera on them. It just seemed like obvious stalling to me, and it seemed like Fuji really didn't know what to say when Vince kept asking him these questions. So he'd give him like one-word answers,
right?
And Vince, trying to stall, would ask him another like redundant question, and then they cut away to Duggan.
Well, it's funny.
Stupid.
It's funny you mentioned that because when they go to the camera angle of Fuji's back when he's doing it, he like looks back at Vince as if to be like, "Is this one? Like, is that the cue?"
Oh yeah.
So
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because he's like, "Are we ready?" or something. Like, that's what it looked like. Are we ready to go?
Is this the shot?
Yeah, that's how I took it as.
That's
when he
wicked
started
funny.
doing it. I'm just like, "Oh, that's weird."
And Vince was probably like, "No,
Just don't look at me."
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. So I thought this was a very weak, because look, of course they tied it into the holiday thing.
The usual hate the Japanese.
And dude, when Yoko spoke perfect English again, I'm starting to jump off the Yokozuna train, and I really don't want to, but Vince is like shoving me off, and it just sucks because to see where Yoko was to where he's ended here in May is just baffling.
Back in January, he's a fucking beast.
Dude,
you're
January,
like, oh shit, no.
February, even into March, they're doing all the right things with Yokozuna. Like we talked about episodes ago, in my opinion, it's one of the strongest build-ups of a character of all time. I was very impressed with the build-up of Yokozuna. Very impressed. To see how far he's fallen, even since then, since WrestleMania, is heartbreaking. It's terrible. Because Yokozuna was on his way to be one of the most, I would say, memorable characters of the 1990s. Granted, he's still considered that as today, I would say, one of the more...
In terms of like a big man.
Yeah, one of the more recognizable guys of the 90s. But still, had he been able to carry his momentum, say, the whole year, who knows?
And I don't know if it really helps if he is continuously going back to Duggan.
Yeah.
For feuding purposes? Because to that, I mean, this makes him feel like a mid-carder.
Right.
You know?
Right. And really, if you think about it, why go back to Duggan all the time? Because you've already destroyed him.
Yeah. There's been a conclusion to that.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only thing I could take out of this is there has to be a final match, like on Raw.
Yeah.
Where Yokozuna just takes him out finally.
You have to.
That seems like the only justifiable conclusion.
And hell, I'd use it to write Duggan off.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
If you're not going to use him anymore.
That's it.
Yeah. That's how I would take it. So that wraps up this edition of Raw. My final thoughts on the show is I thought overall it was a solid episode. I don't think it was bad or anything, but it certainly wasn't maybe up to the par of the last 4 or 5, but it was a pretty good episode. I mean, Marty Bigelow had an enjoyable match despite the finish. Steiner Brothers match was great to see, considering there was almost a murder involved. The brawl between Sherry and Luna adds interest to any possible match, which obviously they've wrestled on the house shows, so kind of adds a little flavor to that regard. And I wouldn't mind seeing Sherry Luna added to King of the Ring.
I know. I would agree.
Why not have that instead of Shawn and Crutch, which has no backstory?
There's your bonus episode, or your bonus match.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, that seems to be the most logical thing.
Yeah.
The ending with Duggan and Yoko was a bit corny, and it fits the theme of Memorial Day, so I understand why they did it. But as we close out the month of May, I thought overall the month of May has been probably the best month thus far for Raw. A really strong month overall.
Yeah, there's
some really quality episodes.
I would say there's no probably about it, Bob.
Yeah.
I would say that hands down, May has been the best month of 1993 thus far. As far as this episode goes, I do think it was a slight dip from last week and even the previous 2 weeks. It's just we've been on such a high. It was barely noticeable that I think it lacked a little bit. With all things considered, I'm really interested in things moving forward. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. The Memorial Cheese was a little too much for me, but again, regardless, I understand. I get it. It makes sense. The Steiner squash, like we talked about, was really, really good. I think it was nice to see advancements made on the Tatanka Bam Bam, the Sherry Luna stuff. Mm-hmm. Also, I think probably my favorite thing going right now is Razor Ramon versus the Kid. I like. Oh
yeah, that's the few that's getting the most attention.
I like it. I mean, like we talked about, do I like that he keeps declining this? Do I like that he declined $5,000? Not necessarily, but I think they're really putting forth a good effort on this story with these two guys. So I think coming out of it, we're going to see a star born. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with enjoying the Kid Ramon.
More than I thought.
More than anything else on the show, yeah.
Yeah, more than I thought.
I anticipated.
Yeah.
So that wraps up May 93.
Mm-hmm.
The next couple of episodes will be, the June 7th Raw and then the King of the Ring.
Yes.
So those 2 episodes for IcoPod will be the last 2 episodes where we will be in the same room.
Touching knees.
Watching you, sweet... No, okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. IcoPod is going off air. Dun, dun.
No, that's because, obviously, Austin is moving.
Yes.
So we won't be in the same room. But don't worry, IcoPod will be continuing. Luckily, we've been recording 2 episodes at a time. Mm-hmm. So I believe at this point in time, I have about 8 of them just locked up. Just waiting to go. Because we only do 1 a week, so it's by the time you even listen to this, we'll probably be recording new ones anyway.
Yeah, and I'll be really missing my friends in New York State when this comes out. Probably be crying every night. No friends in Florida, so that'll be good. Hey, you know what? If you're in Florida and you're not a weirdo, hit me up. I like wrestling. You probably do too.
There you go.
So,
yeah, but have no fear. We will be continuing IcoPod We'll just have to properly figure out how to do it.
We're committed.
We are committed.
We're committed.
And these are relatively easy to do. I mean, they're easy watches to do. And stuff like that.
Yeah. No editing really involved.
No.
So,
but we also are planning on doing a couple more bonus episodes. I still have one that I haven't released yet from our previous one.
mm-hmm.
So who knows, even maybe by this point that will be released. I don't know.
I think it will. I'm ready.
All right.
I'm feeling it.
So the live watches, I mean, we haven't really figured out what we'll watch yet, and we'll probably talk about that maybe off of the air to finally get an idea about it. But those have been a lot of fun to do as well.
Yes.
So, and they'll be even easier to do really when you are in Florida, because we'll be able to hear the commentary and hear things because we won't be in the same room or anything like that. So.
And you know what? It's just literally, it's a sheer fact of switching up the content a little bit, breaking up the monotony of Monday Night Raw with some hidden gems, some not so hidden gems, some not so diamonds in the rough. Probably rough is more like it.
Right.
But we'll see where we go with it. And I think for, like I said, a nice break, those are nice to throw in there every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. You got anything else for this episode?
I think we may kiss May goodbye.
All right. Well, then for Austin Skinner, I'm Bob Conley Jr., and you've been listening to IcoPod.
You gotta hear it.